In the pre-colonial era, education in South Africa was an integral part of community life. It wasn't the structured system we see today. Rather, it was an informal, practical learning process, handed down from generation to generation. From the Khoisan to the Bantu, elders were the educators, teaching young ones essential life skills and cultural practices, preparing them for their roles in the community. The arrival of the Dutch in the mid-17th century marked a shift in the traditional educational approach. The Dutch established the first formal school in 1652, primarily for their own children. This school introduced the European style of education, focusing on reading, writing, and arithmetic. The real turning point came with the arrival of the British in the early 19th century. They championed a system of education for all, albeit segregated along racial lines. The first schools for indigenous Africans were mission schools, established by Christian missionaries. These schools taught not just academics but also aimed to convert indigenous people to Christianity. Throughout the 20th century, apartheid policies drastically impacted education, intensifying racial segregation. The Bantu Education Act of 1953 formalized this division. It focused on equipping the Bantu with skills relevant to their communities. Dr. Hendrik Verwoerd said that the Bantu people had few opportunities in the European community, but they had endless opportunities in their own community. The end of apartheid in 1994 brought significant changes. The new democratic government prioritized tax spending on education as a tool for societal transformation. They implemented policies to desegregate schools, improve access to education, and redress past injustices. In the 21st century, the South African education system has expanded to include a variety of options. Parents can choose between public and private schools or opt for homeschooling, as many are. The right to homeschool in South Africa is protected by the Constitution. The parent may choose to register the homeschooled child with the government if they want. The Schneider case confirmed not doing so is not a crime. The advent of the internet, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, has revolutionized education. It has introduced online learning platforms and virtual classrooms, making education more accessible than ever before. Homeschooling parents have access to a multitude of free resources online. The number of parents opting for homeschooling has seen a notable increase during the pandemic lockdowns. In summary, the South African education system has undergone profound transformations. From the community-based learning of pre-colonial times, through the racially segregated schooling of the apartheid era, to the diverse system of today. The journey has been long and fraught with challenges, including poor literacy rates, corruption, and looting, as well as low return on investment for the taxpayer. Thankfully, there are many options. Parents are no longer limited to the failing public school system.